The former Prime Minister and former Home Secretary is experienced enough to know that is not an accurate characterisation of what happened.
It's not based on your numbers. Based on your...
Wow, bet you're wondering what's going on here. Well, as you can know, this is Shadow Home Secretary Yvette Cooper, and she's basically at the moment just going through this illegal immigration bill, which is quite aptly named because the amount of people who've said, oh, this is illegal, this isn't going to go through, it's quite hilarious, isn't it, really? But now I could have shown you Suella Braverman, prattle on for half an hour, but good God, even my ears were bleeding after 20 minutes. She just retorted to utter rhetoric, nonsense and drivel, while at the same time telling people opposite should curb their language and be more temperate, while spouting invasion and bazillions and gajillions are ready to come onto our... She didn't say gajillions and bajillions, but you know what I mean. It was just horrendous to listen to. She was just painful. But anyway, this basically at the start of Yvette Cooper's amendment speech. Then a certain former Prime Minister asks, can she give way? And then it gets a little bit fruity.
Mr Deputy Speaker, at the same time, our asylum system under the Tories is in total chaos. Only 1% of last year's cases have even had an initial decision. Home Office decision-making cut by 40%. The backlog trebled in the space of just a few years, and thousands of people in costly and inappropriate hotels. I will give way.
Grateful to the Right Honourable Lady for giving way. I'm also very grateful to her for the kind comments she made about me in her interview over the weekend in modern slavery work. She has just referred to the backlog in asylum cases. If she thinks the current figure means the system is in chaos, then what was her description of the system under the Labour government of which she was a member, which had backlog in asylum cases of between 400 and 450,000?
Now, what you will have to come to terms with and get used to, you'll hear the constant hectoring from Stephen Kinnock, so beware.
The former Prime Minister and former Home Secretary is experienced enough to know that is not an accurate characterisation of what happened.
It's not based on your numbers. Based on your numbers.
And that by the time the Labour government left office, the backlog of initial decisions was just a few thousand. Now it is 160,000 and in fact has trebled in the last few years as a result of the complete failure by the Conservative benches. Do you know what? I'm going to have to give way again to the former Prime Minister, because she and I have asked each other questions over so many years that I will have to give way to her again.
I'm grateful to the Right Honourable Lady. Does she not accept that between the late 1990s and the early 2000s, when Labour was in government, the number of asylum cases that were in the legacy, the backlog, rose to between 400 and 450,000?
So the important point that the former Prime Minister addresses is that in the late 90s there was an issue about what happened with the Bosnian refugee crisis and many others, but in fact it was the action that the last Labour government took that got a grip of the system and addressed some of the challenges and took action in order to make sure that we could have both border security and a system that provides for refugees and for those in need of asylum. And what the former Home Secretary will also know, because she was responsible for bringing in the modern slavery law, which I supported when she did, was that this bill also rips up many of the provisions at the heart of that modern slavery legislation. And what I hope she and I would agree on is that it should be possible for our country to have strong border security, to have strong measures and fast, effective measures that at the moment the government does not have to deal with asylum cases swiftly and speedily, and also make provision for those who have fled persecution and conflict and provide support for those who have been trafficked and those who are the victims of modern slavery. And I hope that she will agree with me that this bill does the total opposite of that.
Yeah.
Fascinating, wasn't it? Now I have that sneaky little feeling that Theresa May, the old wily, I think she was playing a bit of political games, because that, when I first heard about the year, I was thinking, well, that's something to do with, was it Kosovo or Bosnia? It might be the same thing. I couldn't quite remember. So I thought, yeah, political games there. Bit of a sly fox she is. But yeah, I just found the whole conversation with them two fascinating. And the young lady that Yvette Cooper gave way, she hit the nail on the head when she says, I hope you are like me to find that this government that have been in power for 13 years, are you a bit tired of them blaming the last Labour governments when they've been in power for 13 years? Well, yeah, it seems to be all that I've left now, isn't it? You know, anything that's gone wrong, it's last Labour government's fault. You know, if they need to get out of it, they'll say, well, I remember a certain MP in 1732 called Sir Ivor Biggin and whatever, and he did something or whatever, and you think that's some sort of get out of jail free card. Theresa May's face was a picture, wasn't it? What do you guys think? I do hope you enjoy the video, and until the next time, I shall bid you farewell and take care, my friends.